The court's in session and calls number 330510. Case is style of State of Texas versus Israel Cervantes. Your full name is Israel Cervantes?
Israel Cervantes.
Cervantes?
Caudillo.
Okay, Israel Caudillo Cervantes. Okay, how you doing, Mr. Cervantes?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Cervantes, you're here represented by your attorney Willard Hall. Attorney Hall, how you doing?
Good, fine, Your Honor. Thank you for asking.
Mr. Hall, Mr. Ham, how are you doing?
Oh, doing well, Your Honor. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. Now, Mr. Hall, what is your announcement in Mr. Cervantes' case?
Well, Your Honor, we're gonna ask for another reset. I've tried to call Mr. Ham. I've got to call into him. He's been on vacation. And we would ask for another reset.
Okay, how much time do you
2
need?
months.
60 days?
Yes, sir.
Okay, when the court coordinator get back, you get your reset. Is this your only case today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Cervantes, you'll be free to go after you get your reset from your attorney. You have a blessed day as well.
I'll talk to you outside.
Yes, sir.
Court is in session in 2 cases. And the cases of Bill Lee Robbins. Mr. Bailey, could you please give Mr. Robbins? Okay. The court is in session in 2 cases. First case is cause number 326-048. The second case is cause number 326-050. Both cases are style of State of Texas versus Bill Lee Robbins. Mr. Robbins, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Robbins?
I'm doing fine, sir.
That's good. Mr. Robbins, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. James Macon. Mr. Macon, how are you doing?
Doing fine, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Robbins, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Robbins, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Robbins, you may put your hand down. Mr. Macon, do you waive a record in Mr. Robbins' cases?
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
Mr. Robbins, in cause number 326-050, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about January 15 of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Robbins, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to discharge, Mr. Robbins, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Robbins, I have before me another document. Let's see. And this document, Mr. Robbins, is titled the Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Mr. Robbins, it is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Mr. Robbins, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Macon? for Class A misdemeanor, the wrong box is checked.
Oh, I'm
Should I-
sorry.
Can I make that
You
correction?
can correct that, Your Honor.
Okay, now, Mr. Robbins, your offense is a Class A misdemeanor, and the range of punishment is confinement in jail for a term not to exceed 1 year, or a fine not to exceed $4,000, or both such fine and confinement. Do you understand the range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor?
Yes, sir.
Now, on page 2 of this document, Mr. Robbins, there are 2 sets of initials. One set is BR, I assume those are your initials,
Yes,
and the other set of initials are your attorney's initials. Mr. Robbins,
yes, sir.
these your initials BR?
Yes, sir.
On the next page of the same document, Mr. Robbins, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is that your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Robbins, I also have another document before me that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Robbins, prior to signing and initialing all of these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes,
to the
sir.
best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
We have no objections, states one, Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Macon, you've advised and counseled Mr. Robbins. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Robbins, your attorney, Mr. Macon, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Robbins, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers are freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
Your Honor, the agreement on case number 326050 is for 180 days in jail, probated over a term of 1 year,
Okay.
a $1,000 fine, 80 hours of community service, DWI classes, standard and interlock. And in addition, the state will be dismissing case number 326048 along with the motion to forfeit the weapons involved in that UCW case.
Now, is he also required to attend drug and alcohol, to have a drug and alcohol assessment?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's
That's-
standard.
That's part of this. Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor. That's correct.
Okay, Mr. Robbins, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in jail because you will be on probation for a period of 1 year. During that 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $1,000 plus court costs of $422, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $1,422. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. You'll be required to pay the Jefferson County DWI education class and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, the total amount that you would have to pay each month, that is the total monthly installments, while you're on probation, is $205. Mr. Robbins, will you be able to pay the $205 each month?
Yes, sir.
You will also be required to perform 80 hours of community service, attend a DWI education class, have a drug and alcohol assessment, install a DWI interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate, and you will also have to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. And the state will be dismissing cause number 326048. Now, Mr. Robbins, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in this case is fair and just?
Yes, sir, I do.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Robbins, I'll follow that plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Robbins, your next case is cause number 326048. And this case is style of State of Texas versus Bill Lee Robbins. State, I have before me a motion to forfeit the weapon in cause number 326048. State, you like to offer this motion?
Yes, Your Honor, the state would offer the motion.
Okay, now, Mr. Robbins, I have before me a motion to forfeit the weapon in cause number 326048. And Mr. Robbins, do you recognize this document?
Yes,
The
sir.
motion to forfeit?
Yes,
And
sir.
is that your signature on the line that says defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Robbins, prior to signing and initially this document, did your attorney go over this document with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in this document?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Robbins, I will grant the state motion to forfeit this weapon in cause number 326048. And as previously stated, this cause number 326048 is dismissed. I'll be signing the dismissal in a few seconds. Mr. Robbins, you're going to stand on the X next to your attorney. You'll follow the directions of our clerk right here.
Yes, sir.
And once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Okay, let's see. Okay, the person on Zoom that has Galaxy A12, would you please identify yourself?
Good morning, Your Honor. Kevin Rollins.
Rollins?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your mic